Hey guys, my name is Chris and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that wherever you are staying safe and healthy. Today I wanted to go over some of our, well not some of our, but all of our monthly expenses that we pay out each and every month so that you can kind of see a little better how our budget functions. Um, we have, I'm not going to get into our income just yet, but I will go ahead and talk about our outgo. So I'm going to go over those with you, and then I'll maybe talk a little bit about each one that I go over with you so that you kind of know what's going on with that. So I'll go ahead and get started. I hope all of you are having a good start to your week so far. Feels like the weekend just zoomed by. I mean, it always feels like that way, but this past one really just felt like I blinked my eyes and it was Monday all over again. But we will get through it, and hopefully all of us will have a good and productive week. So the first thing I want to go over is our mortgage. So our mortgage every month is $821 and change. I always just round it up to 822 just to make it easy. I don't try. Well, I don't like to deal with change in the budget. I just do round numbers. So 822. We pay that every month. We bought our house in early 2015. And it's approximately about 1,300 square feet. And so it's just plenty of room for my wife and I, plus the few animals that we have. And anyway, this 822 has gone up and down over the past few years. It's been higher than 822, and it's been lower than 822, but it's been like this for a good while. So sometimes we have to make an adjustment to it. Our mortgage loan is a fixed rate, but sometimes the escrow account will get off sometimes, and then the adjustments will have to be made in the overall payment, if that makes sense. So next we're going to talk about our groceries. Our groceries include all of our food. So whether we go to Walmart and get groceries or whether we go to a restaurant and pick up food, the grocery category is for all of that. We originally started the grocery envelope thinking that this would be strictly just for groceries at home. And it got to where some nights we didn't want to cook or we didn't want to prepare anything at home, so we would get takeout food, or before COVID we would go out to eat more so. But all of that to say that our grocery budget for a typical month, and when I say typical I mean 4 weeks, is $400. So $400 is our normal total, and that breaks down to $100 a week. So I go to the bank once a week to get out money for our envelopes, and I pull out $100 a week for our groceries. And I might need to even rename that because it encompasses more than just groceries, so I may have to do that at some point. The next expense I want to talk about is, and I'm kind of saying, I like to say these in order, but the cheat sheet I have is not really. The expenses are all mixed up in no particular order or not any kind of relation to each other, so I'm just going to be bouncing around. So after groceries, we have our car insurance. Our car insurance is $233 a month. This is with Geico. We have full coverage on two cars, a 2013 Nissan and a 2015 Lexus. And if you saw my last video, I talked about starting a sinking fund for our car insurance so that we can start paying it in full every 6 months or every year, or however we will break that down. I'm not sure yet. I'm just throwing money at that envelope now, that sinking fund, so that eventually we won't have to pay as much each month for car insurance. We'll just have to save an amount to go toward the overall price of it. Hopefully that made sense to you. Electricity. So we live down in the middle Georgia area, so our summers are super hot. You know, it's not uncommon for us to get 90 to 100 degrees, you know, all summer long. This summer has been a little bit milder. We haven't really got up close to 100, really a whole lot, so that's a good thing. With that said, our electricity costs are never too high, at least I don't personally think they are. We've never had an electric bill to go over $200. And this has been the case since 2015. So for 5 years, we have had electric costs below $200. And in the fall and winter, they're even below $100 some months. So we're very fortunate to have that. So for electricity, the cost of it changes every month, of course, but I budget $200 a month for that. And so, for instance, if our electric bill comes in at $150, I try to either put the $50 remaining of the $200 budgeted into savings, or I will leave it in the account as like a buffer, or it will, you know, go over to the next month or the next paycheck items that need to be paid. So it just depends where we are in the month, whether I'll stick the remaining amount up to 200 into savings, or if I'll just let it sit in our checking account. Our phones is next. We have 2 cell phones. We have one plan. It's just the 2 of us, of course, but we have our phone plan through T-Mobile. Our monthly cost for that is $135. I'm not sure how many gigabytes we have. I did buy a new iPhone a month or 2 ago, and so this 35 right here is for that. I'm paying on it for 2 years to pay it off. So it was about $100 before that was added. So at least for the next 22 months, I mean, we'll have to pay $135 on that until the phone is paid off. All right, so our next one is our Discover card. So we have one credit card. It's our Discover card, and the only thing we put on it in a month's time is gas purchases for our cars. So I budget between $90 and $100 a month for that card. So I put 90. And what we do, our overall budget for our gas each month is between $200 and $210. So I have a separate account with my bank strictly for the Discover card, meaning that each month I put in $90 in that account, and then I take out some cash for the gas as well. So the gas category is split between the bank and then in an envelope. So at the end of the month, I will pay the $90. I will move it from that account into my checking, and then it will be used to pay off the card, because we do not carry a balance on the Discover card. We pay it off in that month. Whatever is left in cash will, if there's anything, will be divvied up between other categories, or we may just leave it in the gas envelope for the next month. Hopefully that's not, I can get kind of wordy sometimes, so hopefully that's not too confusing for you guys. The reason for this, though, is the Discover card gives us cash back, and it's got some perks with it that we like, and it also helps your credit score, which we're not too concerned about, really. I think if we ever get another house, that may be something that we will be concerned about, having a higher credit score. But as far as just needing a high credit score to go out and take loans out and get into debt, That's not our purpose. We're trying to avoid that. Of course, life happens sometimes, so you can't always predict what the future might be. So the next thing is fuel, and I guess I could have went ahead and included this in my whole spiel about the Discover card. So normally we take about 120 out in cash the first week of the month, and so we'll typically put gas on the Discover card first, and when that 90 is exhausted from the account, we will use the 120 in cash. So that's 210 together that we typically budget in a month for gas. The next category we have is pet care. So for our cats, our puppy, our gecko, and fish, this includes all of their needs in a month's time. This includes food, pet litter, puppy pads, worms or crickets for the gecko, and then fish food. So we budget a total of $120 a month for this, which breaks down to $30 a week. We also have a giving and gifts envelope, and this is really more so like a sinking fund, but I have it separate for some reason. And for a month we give $20 toward this, so $5 a week, or a paycheck. My wife gets paid weekly, so when her paycheck comes in, that's where all of our envelope monies come from, including our sinking funds. All right, we also have internet, and our internet is $62 a month. All right, and then our utilities. Our utilities include trash pickup as well as water, and this is typically no more than $25 a month, so we budget $25. The highest it's been so far has been $30, so it's always a very reasonable amount, I think, compared to even some of the surrounding cities with people that I know that live in those cities where they pay up, well, a lot more in a month for water and trash pickups. I'm very happy that our expense on that is pretty low. We also have a life insurance plan, and it is $21 a month. I will go into more detail later about that category. That one actually needs to have something modified on it. It's sort of a long story I'm not going to get into now, but we pay $21 a month for that. For entertainment, we have Amazon Prime. So we watch movies and TV shows on that, and of course, I guess the main reason we got it to begin with was the quick shipping. So anytime we want to buy something online, Amazon is the first place we go to because the shipping is so fast, and I just hate waiting for weeks and weeks to get something. I'm impatient like that. We pay $13 a month for that. Another source of entertainment is Disney Plus. My wife and I both love a lot of the older Disney movies, so sometimes if we don't want to watch nothing that's too deep, or that really if we want something more laid back, we'll look on our Disney Plus account and pick out a movie that we haven't seen in a while. That is $7 a month. Every month I get my hair cut, so I budget that. And the cost of my haircut plus the tip is $26. The lady who cuts my hair has been cutting my hair for several years now, and I love going to see her every month get my hair cut. She even came by our house during, or a couple months ago, when the COVID was a little more stronger, I guess you could say, and she cut my hair then. So I budget that every month. For my wife, Amanda, she has a makeup what do you call it, account or subscription with a company called Ipsy, I think it is. And so she pays $40 a month for that. They ship her two different bags full of makeups and things like that. And so she gets that, I think it's around the first week of every month. So she really enjoys that. We also have our own spending categories in a month, which is money that we can use for whatever we want, whether it's clothes or if we see something at Walmart that we just want, or if it's anything we want that we don't have to really track. We have those. So for my wife, her spending a month is $75. She gets this on the first week of the month. The way our paychecks fall, she will get hers on the first week of the month, and then I take mine out on the third week of the month. So I also get $75. Okay, and then as mentioned in the prior video, my wife works, she still has to commute to and from her work. She works in the healthcare field, so working from home is not an option for her. So each week we give her, or she takes $20 for lunch money. So on the days she don't want to bring her lunch, she has that option to eat out. And really, I've been doing totals for the month. So really, this 20 right here is not the total for a month. That would be weekly. So this should be 80. Hopefully you can see that okay. So 20 a week would give her 80 in a month for her lunch expenses. All right, so these are all of our bank expenses, I guess you could say, things that are taken from the bank account, or paid through the bank account rather. They're not taken out in cash, except for the giving and gifts I mentioned, which somehow got mixed up in this this list, as well as fuel. That comes out in cash as well, except for the 90 on the Discover card that stays in the account. So let's look at our sinking funds. So I'll just put SF here just to kind of differentiate the two. Get my list here. Tomorrow I hope to show you guys a planner that we're going to be using, and I will be able to show you what our budget looks like for August as well as the rest of July. So hopefully I will have that set up tomorrow. Okay, so since we already covered the giving and gives, I'm just going to put an SF beside it so we know that that's one of our sinking funds. Our other sinking funds is, our first one is what we call Christian Life. And this encompasses any type of contributions we make to our religious organization. It also includes dress clothes for when we're actually going to meet, which we haven't been doing for the past several months because of the COVID-19. We've been meeting through an app called Zoom. But when we go out and have to get dressed up, this category is used for new dress clothes that we may need. And for this, we budget $80 a month, so $20 a week. We also have another pet category, which is grooming, bed expenses, and medications. So, and this, if Toby, our little puppy, needs to be groomed, he will go just about every month and a half. He goes and gets groomed. That money comes from here. If one of the animals gets sick or they need shots, that will fall under the vet part. And then the medicines, if they need flea medicines, heartworm medicines, that all comes out under this category. And for this, we budget $160 a month, which works out to be $40 a week. We have a house and yard sinking fund, This is for minor repairs that need to be done in the house, whether it's even just as simple as a light bulb needing to be replaced. If we have, we need maybe a new extension cord, or just something random that's needed for the household. We pull from this envelope, and then part of it's also used to cover yard expenses if we, such as if I need something repaired, like my lawnmower. If we need oil for the lawnmower, that would fit under that. If we want new flowers in the summertime, we would use this envelope. For this, we budget $40 a month, so $10 a week. We also have a car maintenance envelope. I told you that we have 2 cars, so we do not have, they are both paid off now, but you know that owning and maintaining a car is expensive. So we like to have some money set aside for things that may happen, such as if we need new tires or need a new battery or something like that should happen. We have some money set aside for that. For this, we put back $80 a month, so $20 a week. We also have a medical and health envelope, which covers prescriptions, over-the-counter medicines, and doctor copays. And for this, we budget $60 a month, which is $15 a week. We don't normally spend a whole lot in that, so $60 always works out pretty well, I think, for that. We have a vacation envelope that we try to put something towards, so that when we do have a chance to get away, or even just for an afternoon or for a full day or something like that, we have some money set aside for that. We budget $60 for that as well, which breaks down to $15 a week. And then our last one is recreation. This is different than vacation. Vacation we consider is if we go out of town, or if we stay the night somewhere, or we, something bigger, that would fall under vacation. Recreation might include going to the movies, or going to get ice cream, or going to the zoo, or something like that. Granted, some of those things I mentioned we're not able to do right now because of the circumstances. But when we can do those things, we use our recreation envelope. And for that, we budget $40 a month as well. So that's $10 a week. So unless I'm missing something, I don't think I am. These are all of our expenses that come out of our account on a monthly basis. That's a lot there, I know, and I don't know if you're able to see it all. It's kind of going down the page a good bit, but let's see if I can move my camera up. Okay, that's a little better. I wanted to go over this with you, so again, that each month when we're budgeting, you kind of know what expenses we're dealing with and what our outgo looks like. And again, I'll go into what our income is in another video. I hope you enjoyed this though. This is all I'll cover on this for right now. We can get more into details on some of these items at a different time. I hope you all enjoyed. Look for another video tomorrow about planning our budget for August and the remaining part of July, and I think you'll enjoy that. So thank you for stopping back by. I appreciate it so much. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, a wonderful start to your week. Again, I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and to like the video so that this will help my channel grow, and I appreciate it so much you being here. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.